And these gooey fluids are fun to play with on, you got it, on non-Newtonian day. Our goop du jour, this stew of cornstarch and water.
One of the things we can do is use this as a liquid and a solid surface.
Okay.
So I can move around, but if I punch it, completely solidifies upon impact. Now, because of that, we can set objects on it that are normally floating around, and this is just in a liquid. And as soon as I actually start nailing something onto it, that stress is going to solidify the material.
Yeah, let's see it.
Now, you'd never be able to get a nail into wood on water.
Of course.
Well, this is unusual. The stuff resists Jeff's fist like a solid, even though it appears to be a liquid in motion. It's worth taking a closer look back at the lab. The change between states is nearly instantaneous, as warp speed of 1,000 frames per second reveals.
It's amazing to think about, the time scale involved. You scrape this fluid and it's solid, and by the time it lands, it's almost fully liquid again. And that's a really fast scrape. It's not even 1 second that this thing stays solid. There's tons of non-Newtonian fluids. Blood is non-Newtonian, ketchup is non-Newtonian.
That explains why ketchup takes so long to come out of the bottle then.
Now Newton rocks. No, seriously, he does.
You saw some cool stuff, but this is gonna blow your mind.
All right, so we got our speaker going.
At warp speed, we can see the vibration of the speaker. At just the right frequency, the mixture is solid on the way up and liquid on the way down.
These are called the cornstarch monsters.
Pretty unbelievable. You know what it looks like? Dance floor at my wedding. Look at, there goes like Cousin Paul. There's Cousin Jill.
It is amazingly human.
Unbelievable.
The only difference between these cornstarch monsters and Matt's wedding party is the cornstarch did not need a designated driver home. But we digress.
Cool, but you're still not walking on water here.
All right, well, you want to walk on water?
Wow. So that's literally a gigantic mix of cornstarch and water.
2,500 pounds of cornstarch, to be exact. But before Jeff goes for a stroll, let's ensure that a big pool of goo acts the same as a small container. First, the bat test. It bounces right back.
That's pretty cool.
Throw a little bowling ball. Just give it a good roll across.
You ready?
Yeah.
But a bowling ball?
Goodbye.
That's nice.
Once again, time warp cameras capture the extraordinary. A 12-pound bowling ball glides as if on solid wood. Then the other side of the split personality emerges and submerges. The moment of truth.
It's really important that you're very careful, because otherwise you might get in trouble.
Do I have to make that face?
You should try. All right, it's time for a hoedown.
A hoedown? What's a hoedown?
Hoedown's a dance.
Who says white guys can't dance?
Get out of here.
Now let's slow down that hoedown.
There's no way to describe this feeling, though. I can't even figure out. I mean, the fact that you don't land solid and you don't sink, you do something in between. It's almost like there's people like catching your foot, bringing it down a little.
Yeah, there's little hands right under the
It's bizarre. I can't even describe that. I think everyone should go make this solution and jump around their backyard.
But remember, it only acts like a solid momentarily. If you don't keep moving...
I'm gone. I'm gone. Oh, man. You can't get out.
So by now, you know that Jeff